What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a Legacy deck that I actually faced on the ladder, and it was really cool, so I decided to do... Actually, no, I faced it in a tournament a while ago. But that was a deck centered around Kyurem and Garbodor and the Plasma Kyurem at that. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And as for the question of the day, I mean, you guys know what it's going to be. It's the same that it is with pretty much every Legacy video that I do. How was your guys' past week? Did you have anything cool happen? And do you have anything cool planned for the next week? And so, I mean, yeah, as for me, school is kicking the absolute crap out of me. I was making sure I said crap and didn't curse right there accidentally. But basically, we've been in school for a total of 2 weeks. And this past weekend was Labor Day, so we had a 3-day weekend, essentially a 4-day weekend, because I literally only had one class on Friday. So I had 4 days to just kind of review all the stuff. And keep in mind, it's only been 2 weeks. It's literally only been 2 weeks, and not even 2 weeks, like a week and a half at that. I spent a total of 20 to 30 hours over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just reviewing the material and making sure that I had a decent handle on it. And even after all that, I'm still just like, what is going on? So yeah, I mean, there's just so much studying and trying to memorize all of like different nerves, different muscles, all that stuff. So I mean, it's intense, but I know it's going to be worth it. But at the same time, it's like I am dying here. It's literally only 2 weeks of school, and I'm already putting in 20 to 30 hours on a weekend of studying. Save me, please. So yeah, that's what's going on with me, and in this coming weekend I am just foreseeing a lot more studying, so there's that. So this video won't be as long as my other ones, just because I mean I am getting slammed so much, and I do apologize that these videos in general have been getting shorter. I just don't have the time that I did this past year during my gap year to record as much as I would like to, but I still want to put videos out for you guys, so I'm trying, so please just bear with me on this. So yeah, let me know, do you guys have anything planned for this upcoming week? Has anything exciting happened to you in the past week? Definitely let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, this is centered around the combination of Garbodor and Kyurem. Kyurem is the attacker with Frost Spear and Blizzard Burn, and basically what the gist of this deck is just kind of cycle between Kyurems. I mean, you have Frost Spear that does bench damage. It hits the weak Pokemon. It can like snipe out some of the weaker stuff, particularly like Cyndaquil. Like, basically this is just kind of an anti-meta deck for the Legacy format. I mean, the big decks are Weavile Eggs. This deck absolutely, I mean, if you can get and keep Garbodor up consistently, this deck absolutely trashes that. Reshflosion, you're hitting for weakness, so automatically, well, and there's bench damage, so you can take out Cyndaquils too. Let's see what else. There's Virbank Genesect. Garbodor shuts that down pretty well. I mean, not as much as you would like, but it still shuts it down relatively well, and if you can spread around damage, then Kyurem can just take big knockouts, like one prize for 2 prize trades with Blizzard Burn after you spread damage out with Frost Spear. So let's see, that was Weavile Eggs, Reshflosion, Virbank Genesect, and Celebi. There's also Landorus Mewtwo. Well, you are hitting Landorus for super effective damage anyway. Fluffy Chomp, you're shutting down abilities. Tool Drop, you're shutting off abilities again. So basically this deck is just focused around being anti-meta and keeping the big decks in this format from doing what they're designed to do. So I mean, it's very straightforward. You shut off abilities with Garbodor and you attack with Kyurem. I mean, it really doesn't get a lot more straightforward than that. A couple techs that we are running in this deck. One Suicune, just to kind of shut off EXs from being able to attack earlier. By the way, don't play Garbodor if you're... Don't activate Garbodor's Garbotoxin if you're relying on Suicune, because then it shuts down Safeguard and you're just kind of like, welp, I feel dumb. We are also running one Shaymin for the Celebration Wind. Once or during your turn, when you put Shaymin from your hand onto your bench, you may move as many energy cards attached to your Pokemon as you like to any other of your Pokemon. This is just kind of a way of preserving energy, keeping it on board, also just recycling Kyurems. Like if you have one Kyurem that used Blizzard Burn and can't attack this turn, slap a Float Stone on it, retreat into a fresh Kyurem, place Shaymin down, move all the energy onto that new Kyurem, and you have back to black, wow. You have back-to-back Blizzard Burns. Try saying that 3 times fast. But, I mean, that's really just the whole strategy of this deck, and the rest of the cards are just dedicated to getting Kyurem up as quickly and consistently as possible. Ideally, you want a Frost Spear first turn whenever you use this deck, or at least have like a Blizzard Burn up by turn 2 if you happen to go first. So we're running 1 Bicycle as well as 2 Random Receiver, just because you want to cycle through cards a little bit more than usual in this deck. So Bicycle and Random Receiver allow you to get supporters, but also at the same time have just item methods of drawing. 3 Colress Machine to be able to power up Kyurem without the manual attachment. These things are crucial for being able to get a Frost Spear up turn 1 and a Blizzard Burn up turn 2. Just being able to attach from the deck is very, very essential. 1 Computer Search as the ace spec of choice to guarantee to get whatever we need it when we need it. 3 of Dual Ball and Ultra Ball, just so, because, I mean, 90, well, not 90, what is it? Actually, it might be 90, hold on. Dang it, I was too off. 80% of the Pokemon in this deck are basic Pokemon. By the way, we're running this Trubbish because of 1 retreat cost. You can run the 70 HP Trubbish if you're more worried about bench damage. But 80% of the Pokemon in this deck are basic, so we don't have to discard with Dual Ball. However, Ultra Ball is a discard, just guaranteed get whatever you need, and also is good for Garbodor. 3-2, sorry, of Laser Bank, of Hypnotoxic Laser and Virbank. 3 Laser and only 2 Virbank, because because Laser works without Virbank. Virbank doesn't do anything without Laser in this deck. 4 Junk Arm to just reuse stuff from our discard pile. That's especially nice for things like Hypnotoxic Laser, Dual Ball, Colress Machine, Bicycle, Random Receiver. There's just so much that you want to reuse in this deck. Random Receiver is great for that. Switch is a way of getting Pokemon out of the active spot and also being able to reset Blizzard Burn on Kyurem. And then as for these supporters, we are only running 8 supporters in this deck, but we are running all Shuffle Draw supporters, so hopefully you don't go through too many resources and you still have supporters late game when you need it in the 4-4 of N and Professor Oak's New Theory, or Pont, however you want to say it. You could run Juniper, but there's enough resources in this deck that you don't want to go through, that you'd rather just shuffle them back in and have them later, that I decided I'm just going to go with a straight 4-4 of N and Oak, just to, you know, shuffle back the things into our deck and have them for later. And then as for the items, or the tools, we're actually running a pretty heavy line of tools. So first of all, 3 Float Stones, not only to activate Garbotoxin, but also help out with Blizzard Burn, of being able to just kind of like retreat out, reset Blizzard Burn, different things like that. So Float Stone is very, very valuable in this deck. Only running 3 because I tried running 4, and it just kind of clogged up the deck a lot more than I wanted to. So I dropped it by 1, and this deck works a lot better now. Might be coincidence, but I mean, hey, if it ain't broke, right? Then we're also running 2 EXP Share and 2 Silver Bangle. Silver Bangle, obviously, to boost the damage output of Blizzard Burn. With Silver Bangle, all of a sudden, different well, actually 90%, all of the EXs, I think, in the expanded format without Eviolite are in range of Blizzard Burn after Frost Spear. I mean, obviously saving, well, without any like damage reducing going on. And then 2 EXP Share, just kind of keep the energy on board. That way we can just continually attack with Kyurems if one gets knocked out. 4 Plasma Energy, so that we have those with Colress Machine, being able to accelerate energy and not be susceptible to having them prized, just have a dead Colress Machine. And 7 Water Energy, because I mean that's what our attackers rely on. So yeah, that is the deck. It's very straightforward. Let's hope we can face some meta legacy decks, and let's see this deck in action. Alrighty, we have got one against Faye the Artist with a Grass, Psychic, and normal deck. So, I mean, could be Virizion Genesect, could be a whole lot of stuff. But we do get to go first, which is very nice for us. And do we start with... Well, you know what? This isn't bad. We start with some stuff. Got the Trubbish, got a couple Dual Balls to try to get my Kyurems out, and maybe another Trubbish if I decide that this matchup is worth it in. Alright, so we're up against a really random deck. Darn, I was hoping that this would be a Virizion Genesect deck. But okay, let's grab 2 Kyurems, see if there's another Plasma in the deck, because I do have 2 in my hand, and I wanted to make sure that my Colress Machine wouldn't just go to waste if I did that. So let's go ahead, play that Colress Machine, get the 1 Plasma Energy that's in the deck onto this Kyurem. Let's Dual Ball once again just to see what else I can get. I actually get another head, so let's grab a 3rd Kyurem. I mean, I might as well just get these guys set up and go from there, and then let's end my opponent. I mean, my opponent will get a better hand, but okay, I don't get any energy. So let's just Colress Machine once again onto a Kyurem on the bench. Silver Bangle up this one. And then I think, yeah, just end my turn right there. I can switch into one of my Kyurems next turn with my Trubbish, or I can use the Float Stone. But either way, I'm in a very solid position. I didn't get a manual attachment for the turn, but I did get 2 Colress Machines. So I will be able to Frost Spear next turn. My opponent is just going to end me. I mean, I could have played the switch, but also at the same time, like, there we go, there's the Float Stone. So, I mean, it wouldn't have done a whole lot anyway. So, all I have to do is just evolve, and, like, yeah, this is an absolutely perfect setup for me, because I got a Frost Spear turn 2, got a Garbodor, got a Laser. I have still have my supporter for the turn. I also have a Bicycle to see if I can get a Virbank, which I don't, unfortunately. But what I can do is Junk Arm, get rid of the Water Energy, and to grab another Colress Machine, because I know that there is one final Plasma Energy in that deck. Play this onto the Kyurem. That way I basically have 3 Frost Spears ready whenever. And once again I well, I mean, I already had the manual attachment for the turn. Never mind, disregard what I'm saying. So I am going to play the Virbank down, Silver Bangle up the Kyurem, and then I'm going to hold on to the Colress Machine, because you never know when you might just want to discard something. And I think I'm going to target down... Let's go ahead and target down the Ralts. Because if my opponent gets a powerful Storm Gallade up, then that could be a problem. I will be able to take a prize. It's another Garbodor, which really doesn't do a whole lot, to be honest. But now my opponent has no abilities. I have a Kyurem powered up. I have a Garbodor. Well, I already said my opponent doesn't have any abilities. I have the ability to just switch and then go for Shaymin to rearrange all the energy on board, so I can potentially have a Blizzard Burn next turn if I want. My opponent is going to Skyla for a Crushing Hammer? Why? Well, first of all, why would you play Crushing Hammer? 2, why would you Skyla for it? Just to, like, because you can't... Yeah. I mean, it's like a 50% chance your supporter for the turn does anything. My opponent can Psybolt this turn. It didn't matter. I had the switch in my hand. I would be able to just immediately go for that. And actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on playing that. I could have played that just so I can have it active with Junk Arm later. I keep drawing into that dang Colress Machine, which I really... Yeah, don't need. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that and the Suicune, because Suicune is going to be doing absolutely nothing for me this game. I want to grab a Laser? Because I mean, I already knock out the Ralts anyway. But I think I'm just going to grab the Laser just because. Save it for next turn. And then, yeah, just, I guess, snipe the Hoot Hoot. Yeah, let's go ahead and snipe the Hoot Hoot. Really doesn't matter. My opponent can't. If my opponent promoted the other Ralts, I could just Laser and then Frost Spear for the game right there. But my opponent does just decide to concede right there. Can't really blame him at that point. There was really nothing that they could do in order to come back from that, even just stay in the game. So I mean, unfortunately, that was a very legacy game 1. Let's cross our fingers and hope that we're able to find better matches to come. Alrighty, we've got another one against Gumvalvin. There we go, Gamalvin. So, unfortunately, we do lose the coin flip. However, if we draw into just a Water Energy and a Colress Machine, we will what? So my opponent's going to let me go first. I start off with a Suicune, a Laser, a Bank, and a Professor Oak. So actually with this deck, attachments are not wasted. Wow, I draw into a bunch of Water Energy. Could have used that last game. But let's go ahead and just do this. Hypnotoxic Laser up the Timber. I might be able to get a knockout coming back into my turn with it. But with Shaymin, I might be able to rearrange all that energy onto a Kyurem if I draw into the right scenario. So my opponent is just going to go ahead and, well, hasn't done anything yet, just draw a card. So my opponent's going to draw a card. Big shocker right there. Unfortunately, I will not be able to Aurora Beam this coming turn because I don't play DCEs or anything like that. And unfortunately, we see the Great Ball, so this looks like it's just going to be another Legacy match. Guys, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I really am sorry that the quality of Legacy matches isn't better. What you see is the product of spending multiple hours. Like in this one, I've been playing for like 3 hours already. I mean, obviously a little bit goes into testing, but on days where I just record until I have a good amount of content. And right now I'm going on 1 hour. Just the fact that I haven't gotten matches, I've had people immediately forfeit, that type of thing. So I really do apologize for this. But what I am going to do, take my prize off the timber, grab a Hypnotoxic Laser that I'm going to be able to hit with the Kangaskhan with. And yeah, I mean, this actually has been one of the longer matches that I've had in the Legacy format, because a lot of it, as soon as my turn ends, my opponent will forfeit. As soon as like the coin flip, even in some cases, my opponent will forfeit. So I really do apologize. Trying, but as always, I can't try if I'm not trying to find a game. So let's go ahead and try to find another one with this deck. Alrighty, we have got another one against Seymour John? I don't know. But it looks promising. I mean, to be fair, it could just be like a random water deck. But you know what? I'm just going to give my opponent the benefit of the doubt here. Let's say that this is going to be a good one. So unfortunately, we do mulligan. And yeah, you never like giving your opponent cards. I especially would like to have my opponent mulligan so that I do get extra cards. But I mean, then again, who wouldn't? So yeah, honestly, just kind of waiting on the mulligan right now. I mean, I swear, if my opponent's AFK, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. I've already had to... I mean, there have been 3-4 matches that already, like, I've started recording and then oh, good, my opponent played something. But what I was saying, it's like I've had 3-4 matches where my opponent just, like, nothing was played at all. My opponent was just AFK, so I was basically just kind of playing solitaire for a while. But you know what? My opponent played something, and let's just go with the fact that they might have connectivity issues and they might be kind of slow in terms of playing stuff. So yeah, we will mulligan, which should give me something good. Actually, it does. It really does give me something good. So I can hopefully get... Okay, ideally I'd hit all 4 Dual Ball that I'm going to go for this turn, because I'm going to Dual Ball then Junk Arm for that same Dual Ball. But ideally I would hit all 4. But what I think I'm just going to go for is a Kyurem and a Trubbish, because, I mean, water decks usually rely on, like, Keldeo and Blastoise, among others. Yeah, there is the Keldeo, so looks like my opponent knows what they're doing, which is always a good thing. Let's go ahead and Dual Ball, see if we can hit it. Yes, we hit 1, so let's immediately grab Trubbish, because the sooner I can shut off Rush In, the sooner I can just, you know, start being in a much better position. So what I'm actually going to do is Junk Arm for the Dual Ball, saving the other Junk Arm for next turn. I'm throwing the Switch in the discard pile because you never know when you might need it. But actually, yeah, let's grab the Kyurem. I thought about the Suicune for a second, but I think just having a second Kyurem is so much better. Well, especially considering the fact that I got 2 Colress machines, so I'll be able to hit both of those. Well, hopefully hit both those. There we go. Okay, so there are enough Plasma Energies in the deck. That way Colress Machine can work effectively. So I am going to play one onto Kyurem, one onto Kyurem, Random Receiver. That way I up my chances of drawing into something good, as well as having Random Receiver in the discard pile for later in case my opponent ends me into no supporters but Junk Arm. And honestly, I'm in a great position right now. I will be able to play my Virbank down. I have a Kyurem that I can either Blizzard Burn or Frost Spear with next turn. I can even power up the Kyurem on the bench with a Frost Spear. So it really, I'm just in a fantastic spot. And unfortunate that my opponent... Oh my gosh, this had such promise. This is why I hate the Legacy format. Like, I love the Legacy format because there's so many cool decks that I can bring you, but I also hate the Legacy format at the same time because of stuff like this. Like, I've been... this is just so frustrating. Like, the fact that I go through a deck, I try to play it, and then I just end up with a bunch of incredibly subpar matches. Like, I mean, I know that people have gotten mad at me in the past saying if I'd put more effort into it, then I would have gotten better matches, but I'm gonna be honest, this is the result of multiple hours of playing, and I'm in med school. I don't have time to dedicate 3 to 5 hours to good games, so I'm to legacy format. So guys, I'm really sorry. I can't control what happens on the legacy ladder. I play a lot. I play for a lot longer than I should, and yeah, we are just gonna take the win right there. So very sorry. That looked promising, but again, there's nothing I can do if my opponents just go AFK. Like, if they don't play anything at all, like, I can't do anything about that. So quality-wise, I'm incredibly sorry, but this is unfortunately what I have to deal with because, I mean, it's a legacy format, and I actually have a life outside of this, so I can't just play TCG all day. I dedicate a lot more time than I probably even should. I should be studying right now, but I'm not ending it on that. I'm trying to get at least one match where I can somewhat play. Alrighty, we have found another one, and guys, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We're against Hickie PL with a water and grass deck, so once again, fingers really crossed, hoping that we can get something good. And oh boy, so the fact that my opponent isn't even calling a coin flip cannot bode well for this. By the way, it has been 45 minutes since the last match that I recorded. I've been keeping track in each of these matches, saying like, okay, it's been 10 minutes, 15. It has been 40 minutes since the last match. The legacy ladder is just so dead, and there's, even when you do get a game, it's not a whole lot. I mean, usually it's just, I mean, if you make it past the initial round, if you make it past the playing down of Pokemon, then you're in a good spot. Looks like my opponent actually exists because he played down another card. So not only did he play down an active, but he played down another card as well. So this is a big moment. This is a very big moment for us. I do start with Kyurem and no supporter, so that's something. Hopefully I can I can get my opponent to end me, because if he ends me, that would be ideal in terms of, you know, actually getting cards that I can work with. So yeah, there's that. And okay, so it seems like my opponent is there, just taking a while, maybe having some, I don't know. I mean, this could just be another instance of my opponent going, okay, no, my opponent is here, and it's Squirtle and Kyurem, so it's Blastoise Kyurem, which is kind of cool. Wow. So my top deck was actually immaculate. What I'm going to do, play the energy on there, and Colress Machine for a Plasma Energy onto my Kyurem, and yeah, I'll be able to start sniping the Squirtle while hitting the Kyurem for 60 damage. If I can draw into a water energy, I will be able to Blizzard Burn for the knockout, which might be something that I would like to go for. Otherwise, we're in a position, like, we've got a game. My opponent clearly exists because he had played something. And, of course, as soon as I say that, I'm suddenly getting this sinking feeling that my opponent might disappear. That would not be good, because I was just saying that I was really enjoying this match. Well, I was enjoying how it was shaping out to be, because I was able to get a turn 1 Frost Spear, like, just immediately with a Colress Machine and Water Energy. My opponent, oh my goodness, my opponent attached energy and attacked with Kyurem. Guys, this is gigantic. Like, I can't believe this is real. Oh, I top deck an N. I was about to say, otherwise that would be very bad. If I can get a Water Energy, I can get the knockout. Otherwise, actually, I can work with this. So let's play the Kyurem. Junk Arm, get rid of the Junk Arm and the Random Receiver to grab a Colress Machine. That way I can power up another Kyurem in the background. And then I can Bicycle for 3 cards. Still don't get anything, but I do get a Laser, which will actually knock out the Kyurem coming back into my turn. I missed a manual attachment for the turn. But I don't think... Well, if my opponent's Kyurem stays asleep, then that's even better for me. I missed the manual attachment. I do knock out the Squirtle. And if my opponent doesn't have anything else to play down, I will be able to win the game. The fact that my opponent stayed asleep is phenomenal for me. So I'm finally starting to be able to somewhat show what this deck can do. Still haven't gotten like a complete lock of like still haven't gotten a complete lock of an ability reliant deck with Garbodor, but I mean, hey, that happens. It's actually kind of funny. Some of the matches I recorded, that I recorded and then deleted because it wasn't worth playing. In some of those matches, I went up against a Reshaflosion deck, because I mean, that's a deck that a lot of people use on the ladder. And as soon as they saw Kyurem, they quit. Went up against Weavile, Eggs was able to... I mean, as soon as they saw Kyurem and Garbodor, they quit. So, I mean, unfortunately, this is really as far as as far as any match I've gotten today has gone. Able to take 4 prizes off of that. So, I mean, that was 2/3 of a game. And guys, once again, I do sincerely apologize for the lack of particularly good matches. I unfortunately have to take what the Legacy ladder gives me. I don't have the time to play for like 5-6 hours until I get a decent match that some of the other YouTubers do. I'm ending this video right here, and I timed it. This was a result of 3 hours and 26 minutes of playing, and I barely have 20 minutes of good matches, so I deeply apologize for that, guys. But nonetheless, I hope you took the deck idea and are able to enjoy it yourselves and see what this deck can do against some other top-tier decks in the Legacy format. This is a very good anti-meta deck. I highly encourage you to take it to a tournament. Well, the tournament online, because it'll counter most of the stuff that you see there. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.